Isn't it true that at times we all wish we were a better or maybe a happier parent? Well, here to tell us why therapy may be able to help and what resources you may be able to find for free is psychologist and mom herself, Amy Trout. Good morning.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
So this is very interesting. We are going to talk about therapy this morning, and I think sometimes there is maybe a little bit of a stigma with therapy that we're still trying to overcome, but this can really do a world of difference for parents, right?
Right, yeah. You know, a lot of times people think of going to therapy or going to counseling because you have some huge problem. And certainly that's a good place to go if you do bump into something big. But, you know, we don't want to forget that therapy also can be really useful for people who are trying to grow or develop in areas and just kind of improve and become more of the person that they feel that they are inside. Live that out.
So there are some options we're going to talk about in a little bit that maybe people can kind of get connected with. But first, let's talk about how it kind of, you know, the parenting aspect of it. And you have a couple points you want to hit to this morning. Number one, we learn to be parents from watching our own parents. So this is some of these things we're going to go over is, you know, maybe this is where they are in life and thinking, okay, I may need some help.
Yeah, I mean, you know, our parents do the best they can for the most part, right? But we have to examine what worked for us and what didn't work, because we tend to sort of absorb their parenting styles in our own lives. Some things we may, you know, clearly reject, and sometimes we over-reject them, and so we become sort of this polar opposite. What we don't want to do is reject things that are good that they maybe did, or not be aware of the things that may have done some damage. And so we just want to carefully look at things so that we can function. Lots of us function pretty well on a day-to-day basis as parents, but if we want to do better, we kind of really want to take a chance and really look not only like in ourselves, but sometimes with an objective outsider who can help us disentangle some of our own emotional reactions to our
maybe
parents.
it's going to be the first time that you really look back at that and what happened in your childhood once you have kids of your own, and maybe it brings up some things, you know, from the past you didn't realize you were dealing with.
Absolutely.
All right, so number two, how we handle stress affects how we handle our children when we are under stress.
Right, so like if we're happy and life is going well and we don't feel incredibly overwhelmed, it's really easy to handle kids with a range of emotions that they bring, right? If they're having a little tantrum, we're like, okay, this is just what they do. And we can distract and we can kind of be in control of our parenting and let them be kids, because that's really what they are. They're not many adults. If we're overwhelmed or we're anxious or we're stressed about whatever we're stressed about, our ability to respond to our kids reduces.
You don't have to tell me twice. I think we've all seen
anything a part of, right? Anything outside of something pretty smooth, we can tend to overreact in a negative way to our kids, and none of us like that. At the end of the day, we look back and go, shoot, that's not the me I want to be as a mom. So what we have to do is get a handle on what's causing us to stress out and flip over that self-control place into a place of like out of controlness. So stress, you know, the things that stress us out are typically related to some kind of a fear that we have, and they could be completely unrelated to our kiddos, but we need to sort of understand the way life is affecting us and get a handle on some of the things that might unintentionally be derailing us as people, but as parents as well.
And do you recommend to be honest with your kids about that too? For whatever reason, maybe if you do snap or you do let your emotions get your stress get the best of you, I'd imagine that sometimes, you know, you can go back to your children and say, hey, I kind of maybe overreacted, but here's, you know, why, or maybe let them know, you know, what's going on.
You know, even asking your kids to forgive you, it's modeling a humility that we want to see in them, right? So saying like, gosh, I'm really sorry I got upset with you, I wasn't even angry at you. And I'm really sorry. Can you forgive me? I mean, that's beautiful parenting, because we're not perfect. And you know, to model grace, to ask them for grace at times. But what we don't want to do is have that be our norm, right? We want to kind of be a little more on top of
if it becomes into a habit. Well, and you say, you know, just more specifically, how we deal with anger is an issue a lot of times that parents face.
You know, sometimes in our own histories, parents, you know, our parents of different generations either maybe have been extremely expressive with anger or very shut down when they've gotten angry. And either of those extreme reactions aren't really great ways to model anger management. So for us as parents, when we're feeling frustrated with our kiddos or with our spouses or with something else, the way we handle our anger is going to have a huge impact on our kiddos and how they end up down the road handling anger in their lives. So we really want to get a handle on the way we manage that.
You say to respond instead of react can change our relationship with ourselves and everyone around us, including our children.
Absolutely. So the difference between responding and reacting is reacting, we're out of control. If something gets thrown at us, we boom, 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 boom. Whatever feels automatic, it kind of comes out. we don't want to be reactors.
Yeah.
We want to have choices. We want to be responsive, especially with kiddos who are just going to throw a million different little kiddo emotions and situations and, you know, messes at us every single day. We want to be able to be in control and go, wow, I see that you're telling mommy to shut up. I wonder if you're upset about something, what's going on, instead of, how dare you tell mommy to shut up?
We have less than a minute left, but I want to make sure people know that there are resources out there where people can turn to, parents can turn to for help. And I know you wanted to talk about Cornerstone a little bit.
Absolutely. Cornerstone Consulting is at Cape Christian Fellowship. It's a counseling center that we've opened. It's available to the public, not just, you know, Cape
Church
Christian
members
folks.
or whatever.
Right. We offer professional services and in a variety of modalities, individual, couples, families. We deal with all age groups. We have groups available as well. There are different group topics that roll out depending on the time of year. Right now we're launching some mini groups in the month of June that are free. Parenting and couples and communication, really getting to know each other better. So if you're interested, you can call us at 239-772-CARE.
Yeah, we have the contact info there. As we close, what's the take home? You know, for parents watching this morning who thinks, I know there, I've been there, I'm struggling with that now. What's the take home? What hope can you provide for them?
It's really okay. We all struggle. You know, it's really normal. What isn't okay is staying stuck. So if you feel like things are a little bit bigger than the norm, or you just want to grow a little bit, you know, it doesn't have to be highly problematic, but you're like, I'm at a time in life I really kind of should pursue a little bit of self-growth in this area. It bothers you, give us a call. Maybe it's, you know, a session or two might really be what you need to kind of turn the corner, having an objective observer kind of walk with you through some of the struggles that you face.
I love that. Amy, thank you so much. We love when you're here. We look forward to having you back. I hope people take advantage of this.
Thanks.
All right, to find out more information about today's parenting guide, all you have to do is head to our website, fox4morningblend.com.
For millions of people, a good night's sleep is hard to come by. Up next, a condition that may be causing your restless nights and treatment options to help. Stay with us.